Hello everybody, and once again, I'm Justin Ponarelli, and we're going to be doing a little bit of Interstellar Pilot. First of all, I know I haven't been doing much lately with this whole thing because doing my own stuff lately, taking a break from Interstellar Pilot, taking a break from YouTube, in fact. Not that I'm taking a break from watching stuff, just making stuff. But reading through a couple comments, once in a while, believe it or not, I get like a lot of weird, like really scathing reviews. I'm thinking, okay, I mean, the biggest comment that I'm getting, well, not the, yeah, I guess the biggest comment, the biggest scathing review I get is the comment, you take way too much time to discuss something really simple. Guys, that's who I am, you know? I don't just want to have a quick little 5-minute video and boom, and I'm done. If you want to watch little 5-minute videos, there's lots of little quickie videos on Interstellar Pilot on other channels. If you don't like the way I do things, you're on the wrong channel. So relax. It's okay. All I gotta do is quick dislike and go someplace else. It's not a big deal. Okay? I don't need your rant about how I take 15 minutes to do a 10-minute job. Okay? But if you're not the one leaving those reviews, then we're cool. Okay. So if I see comments like that, I'm just gonna start wiping them out because I don't need the BS. Okay? To be very frank, I don't need the garbage. Okay? Alright, so next thing is real simple. We're gonna do a couple fleet battles and ship-on-ship battles. Let's get into it. So, first of all, though, I want to show something off for a quick second. Here's the old Don Carnage file that we've retired. Don Carnage is retired. Okay. Once in a while, because I've done a lot of stuff about Overlords versus Magnuses, people will point out that yes, technically a Magnus can stop an Overlord once you incorporate a fleet. Or really, they won't say it's a fleet. They'll say we're just utilizing the Magnus's hangar bays. Well, that's... yes, but it's technically a fleet battle at that point. But anyway, let me get to the point that I want to make first, then we'll do some battles, okay? Okay. Let's go to the ships. And go to the turrets. And here we go, buy ships here. Enter. Okay. Okay, so first of all, there's people also I've heard that are having trouble accessing the ability to sorry, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart, I guess. I'm not sure why. Let me just take a drink of water here. The upgrades for capital ships packs, I guess, they're not working for some reason. I don't know why. In case anyone's confused, I'm not a developer for the game. This one seems to have crashed. 1 second. Okay, here we are. So I don't want to call it like a debate, but I'll get into discussions sometimes with people about the pros and cons of a Magnus versus an Overlord. Now, if we're talking like huge fleet battles with, 6 Magnuses versus 6 Overlords, I'm gonna say, guys, definitely pound for pound, though. But that's the point, though. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, let's look at what a Magnus cost. Just your basic Magnus, okay, is almost 1,000,000 credits. Okay, your basic Overlord is only about 700 Well, it's around 700,000 plus credits, right? Let's do this. Okay. And I'm gonna get out some notepad here real quick. This should be good. Now, first things first, though, you want to consider all the angles as to why I would argue that the Overlord is superior to a Magnus, okay? Now, in general, no, it's not. You're correct, because the Magnus has much more capacity, much better cargo capacity. It has a hangar. It has much better hangar capacity, and it can be upgraded a lot more. But when you start talking about dollar for dollar, well, you'll see what I mean in a couple moments. Okay, so that's what I want to get into. Dollar for dollar. Okay, just dollar for dollar. Okay, forget the fact real quick that we're talking about, you know, a Magnus and it's for what it is, right? I'm not being very clear, am I? Okay, hold on. I should have an outpost somewhere nearby. There we are. Okay. So when I have made Magnuses, and don't get me wrong, I think they're better looking than Overlords. But in terms of balance, and in terms of how much they cost, for the price tag, I'm saying for the price tag, an Overlord is better. Okay. So guys, let's keep track real quick. We started at around 13 million credits. So let's do this real quick here. Don't need all that. Let's go with cargo, or not cargo, I'm sorry. Equipment. Show compatible. Front left and front right. We'll go with, look at the big boys out, huh? Fives all around, I guess, on the front. Now, can you do this with a Magnus, or sorry, an Overlord? No, you're right, you can't. Because to be fair, an Overlord does not have these many gun ports. Okay. Rear left turret. Let's go with fives. Rear right turret, a 5. We'll tone this one down to only a 4, I guess, though. You know, we want to make this, like, believable, right? Semi-believable. Military launcher, definitely a good idea. We'll keep that. You only need one. You don't really need overlapping missile turrets. Shield. And again, guys, everyone's got their own opinion on this game, you know, and what's best and what's not best. So I'm not stating absolutely it's a fact that an Overlord's the best. This is just my opinion, okay? I don't really need to get into I don't need to get into arguments over opinion. Now let's quickly throw in a large passenger module, just because we can also showcase what a Magnus is capable of versus an Overlord, okay? But I'm not talking about its overall capabilities, I'm talking about battle-wise, in battle, okay? Okay. And then, the nice thing is you have a much larger capacity here, too. So I can do this, for example, right? And we're talking, at least, we're talking a lot of missiles. We're talking, actually, no, you can't do ECM, can you? Because these things don't have countermeasures. Yeah, watch this. There is no countermeasures. Okay. So, part of the reason why I would say a Magnus is weaker than an Overlord is because of the lack of countermeasures. A point which I'll make again and again. Now, let's pause the game real quick. Now, we've been making some money at the same time as losing money. But let's check out the amount of money we spent on our customized Overlord. Okay. Stuff goes in and out so fast, doesn't it? Okay. Well, it just says equipment purchase. That's what. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. So the Magnus itself was almost 1,000,000 credits, right? And then you start adding all your fancy stuff on it, you know. 755,000 credits there. 39 plus thousand there. Okay. Another 182,000. Okay. In my opinion, to make these things really powerful, you gotta drop almost, 3,000,000 credits just to get a really well-equipped Magnus. All right. We started with a little over 13 million. We're down almost 3,000, right? Or, sorry, we're down almost 3 million. So we'll say approximately 3 million. I do have notes somewhere. Let me go find those real quick, guys. Just stand by. Now, see, it depends on how you analyze these things, right? I got my old notebook out. And in the back, I used to have all sorts of notes on this game. And guys, if you watch my videos before, you'll realize that I don't really use fleets a whole lot, okay? Typically, if I want to take out a base, I don't need a fleet, you know? Give me one solid, Overlord, maybe a Magnus. I can work with the Magnus, that's fine. But if we're just talking about one ship versus one ship, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, you're going to spend way more on a Magnus, and you're going to get a lot too. But if you could spend the same amount of money on an Overlord, or on, say, now let's say you can't spend that kind of money, right? And we're going to get into that real quick, I think, too. Okay. So I've got a note here that says, for a Magnus A, okay, equipped with, as far as turrets are concerned, a front left laser 4, a front right laser 4, a front turret level 5, laser 5, main turret level 4 laser, rear left turret level 5 laser, rear right level 5 laser, rear turret level 5 laser, and a top turret level 4. I'd prefer, to keep the missile launcher, honestly, nowadays, of course. But once you get in there with your maximum shields, engines, power core, capacitor, your price tag is ultimately around 3 million credits, okay? And of course I don't have the exact numbers for an Overlord because at the time, I guess I didn't care. All right. Let's do this. Now, the nice thing... Oops, where'd my ship go? I had a ship somewhere. Right there, there it is. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so now I got an actual piece of paper and pencil out here. Now, as you guys know, once you have your own space station, your own, whatchamacallit, shipyard, your own military base, you buy your own equipment, the stuff you buy and sell will be at cost. In other words, all the money I put into this Magnus, including its initial price tag, I'll get it back. So watch this, right? Fully loaded with interceptor missiles. Okay. All top components. Okay. We even put in the passenger module. Everything else is maxed out. Best engine, best shielding. Just check. Let me just double check the shielding, shall we? Yeah, we're all maxed out, guys. We're maxed out here, okay? Other than a few level 4 lasers, we're maxed out. Alright? Sell ship. So there you go. There's your total price tag. Like my original notes say, 3,164,500 credits. Okay? Now, do I need that kind of equipment or that kind of cash to take down a pirate base with a couple fighters? No. No, I don't. So that's it, okay? That's at cost what that Magnus, did for me, or what I blew on that Magnus, okay? Stumbling on my own words here, but you get the idea, okay? We dropped that much money on a Magnus. Okay. Shipyard. Hop in. Now let's do the same thing with an Overlord and see what happens, okay? So now where's our outpost? Oh, guys, this video is not meant to knock people who like the Magnus. Okay, it's not meant to mock people who realize that the Magnus has more potential than an Overlord, but I'm just talking about in battle. Dollar for dollar. That's the keyword here, guys. Dollar for dollar. Okay? Because in my opinion, you get way more for your money with an Overlord as opposed to a Magnus. And if you drop the same kind of cash, if it's just, here's, 4 million credits, and you get 4 million credits, what's going to be the best fleet? Okay? So now let's go ahead and do this, equipment. Because sticking vessels into a hangar bay, okay, we're talking, what you're really doing is creating a fleet. If you get 6 ships popping out of your Magnus, whether they're fighters or... Now, I don't know if you can actually put a Magnus inside a Magnus, it wouldn't make any sense, but you get the idea, okay? Once you start talking about amounts up into like the 6 millions, 10 millions, first of all, you don't need those kind of assets to duel in this game. You just don't need that, alright? Anyway, back to my point. So, front left, laser 5. Front right, laser 5. We're going to make this a level 4. We only need 1 turret. It's already got 1. And then we'll keep the other one, the mid turret, as a level 4. Rear can be laser 5, rear right, laser 5. Shields. Obviously, everything's going to max out here. 1,500. Cruiser engine 40. Power generator. Almost 1 million credits. Passenger module. Why not, right? We did it for the Magnus. Capacitor. 2.4K. And countermeasures number 2. Okay. Now, this is where I make the argument that this thing is going to be much, much better, in my opinion, okay, That's a lot. This vessel will be a lot better in terms of overall battle, because I've done, demonstrations before where I took a single vessel, maybe just an Orion, for example, loaded with missiles, and within seconds, I can take down a Magnus. You can't do the same thing to an Overlord. Okay? You can't do it. Because it'll be equipped with ECM. And ECM is going to stop a simple missile attack. The first time I used a Magnus, yes, I was very impressed with its firepower and its ability to take damage and its shielding. But on the other hand, it had literally no missile defense. Now, yeah, if you're skilled at manually targeting missiles and shooting them, then yes, I can understand the argument would be you can still defend against missiles. But if it's just a single vessel against a single vessel, you can't convince me that dollar for dollar, guys, I'm not talking about anything else, dollar for dollar, the Overlord is better. Okay, now watch. So we've basically loaded this thing to the gills. Lots of missiles, lots of ECM. We'd probably do it some other way around, not this way. Okay, usually it's like 90 to 30 or something. That's okay. That's good enough for right now. Equipment maxed out. This thing is ready to kill, okay? Now, yes, again, Magnus has more weaponry. It has better cargo capacity. Okay. I think it even has better shielding. And you can do a lot more with it in terms of, gun platforms. Okay. But it does lack the countermeasure level 2. Or just countermeasures in general. Okay. Now, let's just undock real quick. We're going to pause again. Let's see, docking bay. So you can dock ships in here, just not as many as I recall. It might be only like 2 or 3 versus a Magnus' 6. However, that's not the point we're getting at. Alright, now let's get back to base here. Now remember, real important, guys. I have my own shipyard. I've got my own military base. Everything I just bought right now came from my own base. Meaning when I sell it, I get back the same exact money I put into it. So let's do that right now. Comparing dollar for dollar, that's the point. The point is not whether or not a fleet of Magnuses, fully loaded with fighter craft, can take out a fleet of Overlords. Obviously the answer is yes. A fleet of Magnuses, fully upgraded, including fighters in their hangar bays that also fly out and attack, are going to ice a fleet of Overlords hands down. But you're also talking about a great economic difference between spending millions upon millions on your Magnus fleet versus not as much on the Overlord fleet. Dollar for dollar. Watch this. Okay? See that? Overlord. Not that much. 2,390,000 credits for a pretty well maxed out Overlord. Okay? Okay. So, what's the difference? It's almost a solid 1,000,000 credits. Now, let's say you decide, okay, well, I want to take advantage of the Magnus's hangar bay, right? All right, let's do that first of all. Request taxi. Shipyard request. Buy ship. Just the Magnus, right? Okay, Magnus A. Just info. How many bays does it have? Or no, stats, I'm sorry, stats. Hangar bay 6. So let's stuff 6 vessels inside of a Magnus. Alright. Let's go to request taxi. Take any ship of your choice. Any ship you like, guys. I don't care what it is. If you can fit a Magnus inside of a Magnus, go ahead, do it. So you can buy another 6 Magnuses at, 3 million. That's going to be, what, 18 million credits, right? But let's get something reasonable like fighter craft. Okay, let's do some flyer A-class vessels. Or no, flyer X's. Okay. Put in trade. Go to the stuff I don't like. Equipment. Let's max her out. Now I prefer max lasers in the front. And then I think we can do, no we can't. So we'll keep with the small launcher. I don't like mines anyway, let's get rid of those. And again, max it all out, right? Guys, follow me so far? Just follow along. And upgrade that too. Okay. Do you need to upgrade that? No, but you could. I'll leave it as it is though. In my opinion, it's not necessary to upgrade the cloak. And then, in my opinion, you want to do maybe around. That should be fine, right? Yeah, that's way too. Okay, that's just okay. I'm sorry. We didn't want to do that. Oops. Huh. Okay, in real life, that's probably a decent, even Steven mix between missiles and ECM. In my opinion, around 10 to 12 or so, 15, 16 ECM on a smaller vessel is way more than enough for its purposes. Sorry about that. And 25 missiles or 20 so missiles would be perfect. Okay. Alright, so that's perfect. Good, right? Okay. No argument there. We're all set. Loaded there. Fully upgraded. Unless you guys like mines, in which case we'll pop one in there. Now, remember, again, we're going to get back the same amount of money that we put into this thing, including its initial sticker price. Okay? So let's do this. 123,250 credits, right? Okay. Stand by. Now, got an old-fashioned TI-30X calculator from Texas Instruments. If I can get any light on this thing. There, we got some light. Perfect. So what did we say, right? 123,250. Now we're going to put 6 of those things on our Magnus, right? Times 6. And we have almost 1 million credits at 739,500. Okay. Let's add on top of that your 3,164,500 for the Magnus. What happened? 1 second. Okay. I was just being goofy. I wasn't reading it properly. For a grand total of 3,904,000 credits. almost 4 million credits. Now, so the argument becomes the Magnus has more gun turrets, okay, more gun platforms, a hangar bay, 6 vessels can be stuck inside of it, can be launched at will, at a target, right? And guys, at a total price tag of almost 4 million credits, I would expect this thing to be able to crush anything, and it can. I'm not arguing that it can't. Don't get me wrong. This thing is a beast. Okay? But it's a beast with a price tag. Compared to your lousy 2,390,000 credit Overlord, fully upgraded, without hangar bay craft. Okay? However, if you give me nearly 4 million credits, I'm going to buy me some Orions instead. Let's go get some Orions, for example. Alright. Quest Taxi. And again, the shipyard. As we know, I love these things. If you guys see me, do this enough times, you'd be like, hey, we know what you're gonna do. You're gonna buy the Orion here. Darn tootin'. I think it's my station. It is awesome. Watch this. Let's go ahead and show compatible. I don't like the pulse turrets. The autocannon's going to turn into our missile launcher. This thing, I designed this thing basically to take on fighter craft, but also to be able to take out turrets. Okay, that's what the launcher's for. I don't need that, but I'll keep it on anyway. Just for a price point comparison, right? We did this with the other 2 vessels. Let's go ahead and do this again. Making these things as expensive as possible here. Not the cloaking device, so that's not necessary, guys. Come on now, right? The annoying thing, I got a comment, someone saying, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You're bad at teaching. You don't know what you're doing. It takes you, over almost an hour to explain a 15-minute concept or a 10-minute concept. If you want a 10-minute video, go watch a 10-minute video. Don't click on an hour-long video that explains how to set up a patrol, okay? Guys, please. I don't need it. Now, fully loaded Orion A-class vessel. Let's see what we got. Look at that! Look at that! Alright, so let's talk price point. Again, we are trading this puppy in, and we're getting approximately 200. So yeah, we spent 275,000 credits on an Orion, right? So let's go ahead and turn that into a fleet. And we get 1,650,000 credits. For a fleet of 6 Orions. Now, so, yeah, you're probably thinking another Orion versus Overlord versus fleet. But yeah, I'm not talking, guys, again, to make this very, very clear. When I say an Overlord is better than a Magnus, I'm talking about price point. Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, what you're getting out of the same amount of money. For the money, the Overlord is superior, in my opinion. Again, that's just my opinion. Everyone's got an opinion, you know? But, you know, if you want to drop... What did we say? Nearly 4 million credits, right? For your killer fleet of fighter craft plus your Magnus, and pit it against an Overlord. Yes, the Overlord's gonna lose, but I'm not talking about Magnus and hangar bay craft versus Overlord. I'm talking pound for pound, dollar for dollar, just the Magnus versus an Overlord. Okay? But now that we have our setup, let's rock and roll. Oh, sorry, now let's do... Wrong button. There you go. Okay. Again, this is not meant to rip on people who like the Magnus. If you like the Magnus, I don't blame you. The thing is a beast. Now, as far as fleet battles are concerned, I don't need a fleet to take out a faction. You just don't need it. Now, if you want to drop 10 million plus credits to take out a faction, go ahead and do it. Not my style. Don't need it. Besides, my game starts to lag after a little while anyway, so, hey. Give me 1 or 2 good ships, I'm good to go, okay? So let's go with, new game. Skirmish. So let's clear this out. Now I've already done before a regular Magnus versus regular Overlord game, and you can win both ways. It can be a little bit difficult though, in my opinion, to win as the Magnus, but it can also be hard to win as the Overlord. Also, because the Overlord can be a little bit more, I don't know, it doesn't have as many weaponry. Not as much weapons, okay? But let's make it really nasty, shall we? Let's do this. Can you defeat... Well, not sorry, that's me. Can I defeat a fully decked out fleet, which will include a standard Magnus and a bunch of gnarly... We'll just do regular flyers, because flyer X's will probably try to cloak. Then they're vulnerable. You don't want that to happen to your guys. I know it's only 5 ships, 5 flyers, but look, guys. Okay. So the argument is, well, the Overlord's gonna lose. Guys, I agree. But we're gonna try anyway, shall we? The Magnus should lose, and I do agree with that. I'll probably get crushed. But it doesn't mean I can't try. Okay. Watch this, though. Scanner. Can you do it? I'm gonna try. Now watch this. Camera lock on. Target nearest vessel. Come on, baby. Ah. Guys, we're trying. I'm trying my heart out here. Out of missiles, almost. Gotta turn around, about face here. Never said I was gonna win now, did I? I said I would try. I don't expect to last a lot longer. So, we took out a ship though, didn't we? Almost got another one too. Alright, so that was alright. Okay? But remember, that was without giving my side a fair slice. So, if the point is, yeah, a Magnus can crush an Overlord, okay, but you really mean a Magnus with 6 fighter craft. I agree, a Magnus with 6 fighter craft can destroy any single vessel in this game, period. Okay? Now, I've done a video before where the odds are even, it's just Overlord versus Magnus. Overlord wins, typically. Okay? But the Magnus can win too, so it's a pretty even-steven fight, more or less. The Overlord has the missile advantage. The Magnus really can't stop it, technically, without shooting the missiles and wasting firepower that could really be put into shooting the Overlord instead. Okay? Now, however, let's go and say, well, but if we're talking about an even-steven fight, have we tested even-steven fights before? That's the real question. We're talking about an even-steven, pound-for-pound, dollar-for-dollar fight. What's going to be the best bet here? All right. Let's follow my buddies in here, shall we? Okay. So far, I'd argue we're doing okay. All right. Doing much better than before, right? I can focus on the I can focus now on the murder of the Magnus now, who is now not faring well at all. Now we can argue he launched his fighter craft. He launched his fighter craft, guys. Okay, he did. He launched his fighter craft. Think about it, right? He dropped his fighters out of his bay. Now, in a battle we're talking about your Magnus fully equipped, dropping fighters. Oh yeah, you're gonna crush my Overlord, not a problem. But in a fair even-steven fight, where I have the advantage as well of having a fleet with me, which is basically the same thing, right? All you're doing is you're just simply putting your fleet inside of your hangar bay. I'm just taking my fleet and having them kind of walking alongside of me. All right? Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, I can get a lot more for my money. Okay? Let's clear this up here. Edit team. Let's drop the Magnus, shall we? think we can agree, guys, like I said here, that a fleet of 6 Orions was only 1,650,000 credits. So I think we can all agree that if I do this, and then do this, pound for pound, dollar for dollar, this should be an even-Steven fight, right? Now, I love my Orions. I stand by my Orions. I'd prefer an Orion over an Overlord any day of the week, because I can get more for my money with the larger amount of smaller vessels compared to smaller amounts of larger vessels, okay? I'm just talking about dollar for dollar, pound for pound. What do you prefer? This is a preference game. I'm not saying point blank you're wrong if you like the Magnus. No. Don't misunderstand me, guys. You can love the Magnus. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay? Magnuses are awesome. You can put ships on them. They have awesome cargo capacity. They can haul max passenger loads. These things can do anything you want them to do. Okay? Including, yes, spit out fighters out of their booties and then crush things. Okay? Let's kick some ass. That's all I'm going to say. Let's whip some booty. Come on. Not quite as easy so far because we're going to take more damage. Okay, wow. That was actually quicker than I thought it was going to be. Okay, well, that was fun. Guys, the Magnus stands no chance. It went down even faster than the last time. Okay? And in reality, we're talking about a fleet that I just used that cost only 1,650,000 compared to a fleet that cost around the same amount of money, okay? Now, we did discuss that a fleet of 6 flyers, right, cost 700,390, right? Or whatever. So bear with me. Do some more math for you. Okay? More math. Okay, now, so if you have only a fleet of 5 flyers, right, which is what we had, okay, at 616,250 plus your, we'll round it down to say 900,000, right? 900,000 standard issue Magnus. We're talking in this case, yes, I did get 100,000 extra on my team here, okay? But let's do this. We'll say standard issue 900,000 Magnus, right? Plus the full fleet of flyers at 739,500. And we're now talking an almost even-Steven matchup, okay, with only around 10,000 credit difference in between, okay? So, I hope my point was not lost, that I'm not bashing the Magnus and saying it's a bad vessel. Now, I'm saying, in a simple matchup, okay, Overlord versus Magnus, or basically anything with missiles versus a Magnus, can be a bad matchup. Okay, I could decimate a Magnus very easily, and I've done it before with Hornets. Okay? Don't believe me? Well, I'm sure you do, because you've seen it before, right? I've done it before. Okay? And I'm almost done with my time here, because it's, you know, almost an hour long, right? Listening to me babble like an insane person. Guys, for those of you who watch me and listen to me babble on for an hour, I appreciate it, okay? For those of you who are like, it takes an hour to make a 10-minute point, don't watch my videos then. I don't want you to. Stop watching them. You're not allowed to. Get off my channel. Seriously, please, honestly. Okay? If you want to watch a 10-minute video about a 10-minute point, there are Interstellar channel pilots, Interstellar pilot channels out there. Watch those, not mine. Okay? I'm an older fella. I'm gonna babble like an older guy, and I'm gonna have fun doing it too, okay? And when I make my point, I make sure you understand what my point happens to be. And my point is not that Magnus is bad, the Overlord is better. The Magnus has much more potential. Lots of weapons abilities, a better hangar bay. It can carry a large passenger load. It can do things technically that the Overlord cannot do. Okay, but the Overlord is more suited for battle than a Magnus is, unless you include vessels with it too to store in the hangar bay, and then launch them, and then you have 7 vessels going into battle versus 1 vessel. Yeah, that's going to kill anything. But at a price tag of nearly 4 million credits, I would hope it would kill anything, right? All right then. That's all I wanted to say. And a properly equipped, fully loaded Overlord can take down a pirate base without the need for a $4 million investment. I don't need to put down $4 million, guys. What you do is real simple. You find a place to dock, like let's say a military base. You find your pirate target, your pirate base, flyers at the ready. You go back and forth, rinse, lather, repeat. Blow up their ships, blow up their turrets, blow up their base, and all it took me was 1 Orion, a little bit of missiles and ECM, and patience. Not 4 million credits. Easy. Piece of cake. Okay, guys. So, hope you enjoyed. So this is actually aimed at someone, so I can get them to understand. I'm not bashing a Magnus, saying a Magnus versus an Overlord is a bad matchup. But I am saying pound for pound, dollar for dollar, if I put in 4 million credits into a fleet, I can do a 4 million credit fleet, and my Overlord versus your flyers or your ships in my... Anyway, you get the idea, right? Give me 4 million credits, I can make a good fleet too, okay? If you want to spend, what, 18 million credits, right? On a fully upgraded fleet of Magnuses, crush everything, it's going to happen. Don't worry, I'm not even worried about it, okay? But if I took 6 Overlords versus 6 Magnuses, you know what? We'll do that next. Guys, as always, thank you for watching. Questions, comments, and polite constructor criticism down below. And as always, Virus 2020, wash your hands. Peace out. We're done.